Hi everyone, welcome to the Preparing for the Festive Season Smart Shopping Campaigns Academy on Air. My name is Sean. I work here in Google with the Accelerated Growth team. So we work with advertisers who are looking to scale their growth rapidly over quite a short period. We assist them and provide them with a range of insights and expert help. Today, we're going to look at smart shopping campaigns, do a bit of a recap on the product itself, some best practice, how it works, and also look at how to prepare for the festive season and maximize this crucial period for yourselves. Some of you may be familiar, but smart shopping campaigns were formerly called goal optimized shopping campaigns. There's a great recording of a live stream on the partner's website. I'd encourage you to look at that if you have any questions that don't get answered today. So firstly, looking at smart shopping campaigns. Why do they benefit us? What is their benefit, I suppose, over traditional shopping campaigns? And it's threefold, really. The simplicity of setup. It's very easy to manage your campaigns. It's very quick to set up and start to see results immediately. Your performance and the couple of different options you have, whether that be the maximize conversion value or setting a target ROAS to actually achieve those goals. And the unparalleled reach that you can achieve across just one campaign, targeting shopping, the display network, YouTube, and Gmail. So a couple of really massive benefits there and strides forward. So how the campaigns themselves work and how they, I suppose, achieve those goals for you. So first and foremost, there's sort of a three-pronged approach. You have your business goals, and that's setting the bidding strategy up to, I suppose, maximize the benefit that you're looking for. Then we have the machine learning end of things, so the fully automated campaign, targeted around getting the best returns for you. And we'll look at the different signals and how it actually achieves those returns for you. And then, as I said earlier, the reach. So showing across Google, combining shopping, remarketing, targeting your customers there, as well as on the display network, YouTube, and Gmail. I'm really capturing the customers where they are. So firstly, we'll look at the goals and how you, I suppose, set up the campaign to achieve what you're looking for. So you have two options here. You have your maximize conversion value. This is when you don't set a ROAS. You try, I suppose you let the campaign achieve as much revenue for you as possible within the budget that you set. And this is great if you're looking to drive some great data and sort of understand which products work, where your, I suppose, advantages over the competition are. And also if you're limited by budget and the campaign is, I suppose, is only capturing some of the impression share that it could be, using just a maximized conversion value will mean that the campaign itself will try and drive as much revenue as possible and try to get you the best return. And you also have the option of setting the ROAS. So asking the campaign to drive to only spend as much as it can drive a return for you. And this is fantastic if you have a good understanding of your of what you need in terms of return, in terms of your margins, and allows you to be very comfortable in the knowledge that the campaign is working towards your goals and the goals that you set. Now we'll look at the machine learning side of things and how, I suppose, how those automated bidding strategies are powered. And it's twofold. So we'll look at the insights that we as Google can provide, whether that be based on the query itself, the device, the location where that customer is, where they're looking, and pile them into, I suppose, understanding how likely the customer is to purchase and what that customer would normally purchase. And then you also have the insights that the retailer brings, and that would be yourselves. That might be your audience lists. So looking if the customer is a repeat purchaser, if they've been on the site before, if they viewed that product before, alongside the product itself, the pricing of the product, how likely that product is to be purchased, etc. And combining them and bringing them all together and having a full understanding of the customer what they're searching for, and how likely they are to purchase based on that. Bring that all together to power the bidding that, I suppose, drives the return that you're looking for. And then we look at the reach. So I suppose the biggest step forward from traditional shopping campaigns for smart shopping will be the reach that it can achieve, as opposed to showing on shopping and on Google search and with our search partners. You have the opportunity to show there, but also across the display network using dynamic remarketing, on YouTube, where you have highly engaged customers, and also on Gmail. So a huge reach and a huge additional reach to capture your customers where they are. Using that, you only need one feed, your standard shopping feed, which is a huge advantage and a huge simplification of the setup to target all of these different inventories. And then, as well as that, the fact that the budget will automatically be allocated where it is most likely to drive you that return. I suppose gone are the days where you have a shopping campaign and a dynamic marketing campaign, and you are trying to find that perfect balance where you are capturing as many sales as possible, and trying to, I suppose, understand where that balance leads or where that balance is. I suppose the automated bidding will do that for you and allocate that itself. So this is sort of the reach that we talk about, whether it be on shopping, whether it be the display network, which are remarketing, showing on YouTube, which is, where highly engaged customers are, and putting your product in front of those people, as well as Gmail. So really being able to, I suppose, capture the customers at any point along the funnel and along the path to purchase, which is a huge advantage and a huge, I suppose, reason to really use smart shopping and trust it. And as we said, I suppose consolidating your shopping and dynamic marketing, as opposed to trying to find out which lists are most valuable, where, or trying to, I suppose, optimize the campaign separately, looking at whether customers will purchase on different devices differently, whether it be on shopping or display, etc. We have all of that together in one campaign with one budget, all working towards driving that return that you're looking for. So that's the smart shopping campaign itself, and sort of the benefits of it, and the different advantages it may have. And again, as I said, there's a great recording of a live stream done on and you can go on the Google Partners website and have a look there, to maybe educate yourself a little bit more if you're still unsure of anything. So when we look at the festive season and maximizing that, it's important to look at the changes and the differences in how the market reacts and in how, I suppose, Google reacts to it. So first, we have that increase in traffic. There is a huge spike in retail-related and product-related searches, and it's important to understand that the market, I suppose, gets that much bigger, and it's that much more important to capture it. You've worked all this time throughout the year to set yourself up, so it's really about maximizing right now, maximizing the footprint you have over this period. As well as that, we have increased conversion rates and possibly value, and this will come from the two large peaks. So you've Black Friday and your Christmas period, where you've two, I suppose, separate customer intents. Whereas with Black Friday, customers are looking to purchase for themselves, which brings its own increased conversion rate. Christmas tends to be people purchasing as gifts. And again, those two differences lead to the increased traffic and the increased conversion rate and the differences in value that you might see. And alongside, I suppose, those two benefits for yourselves is the increased competition. Just like you as an advertiser are looking to get ready for this period, all advertisers are, and that leads to new advertisers getting into the market, trying to take advantage of it, and just trying to maximize their footprint as well. So it's important to be aware of these 3 points when we look at the next couple of slides and kind of making sure you're maximizing your return. So when we look at this increased traffic, we have two, I suppose, distinct differences. So we have short spikes over maybe 6 to 12 hours. where your traffic increases dramatically, where your conversion rates increase dramatically. And it's important to be aware of when that's going to happen, and be careful to, I suppose, be aware of it and be able to take advantage of it and maximize the return you're getting there. And we'll look at that now later. And then you look at the longer trends. So Black Friday, where it used to be a peak, and the day and Cyber Monday itself were two very large peaks, we now have a gradual lead up over the 2 to 3 weeks beforehand, where demand and search queries are rising to meet that. And it, I suppose, reaches its peak on those 2 days, but there's a longer build up there. And it's important to understand that and be conscious and be taking advantage of it. And then the same thing happens with Christmas. You have a 2 to 3 week lead up period where demand and queries are increasing consistently. So just be aware of that and be aware of the, I suppose, different challenges you have to look at there. So when we look at, I suppose, how we maximize our return on in this festive period with smart shopping, it's important, I suppose, to take into stock that it is an automated bidding strategy. So we won't be bidding ourselves, we'll be letting AdWords do that for us. So we have a couple of levers we can pull depending on what you are trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. If your goal is very much just to maximize the revenue you bring in, it's twofold strategy. So you have to make sure your budget is as high as possible. You have to be able to capture the increased demand. You know, you might have worked all year, and the festive period may be by far the most profitable period, or it might be, you know, a large portion of your yearly sales. So it's important to not limit yourself over this period. If you're leaving your budget the same as it has been consistently and it's being spent, you're not going to capture any additional traffic. As well as that, it's important to look at your ROAS and see, is that flexible? So as search queries increase and as conversions rates increase, competition intensifies, and more advertisers are bidding more aggressively. So with that, CPCs will increase. So it's important to give the automated bidding a little bit of flexibility. By, you know, decreasing your ROAS by 5-10%, you are allowing it to enter auctions that it may not have entered because the bids had went so high, but the customers will be likely to purchase. And so you're allowing it, I suppose, a broader spectrum of customers to go after, which is what the name of the game here is really when we're trying to maximize our sales value. We then look at, I suppose, you know, taking advantage of the opportunity, but keeping a very strict ROAS. And the rules are relatively similar. Again, we want enough budget to capture the increase in demand. We also want to look at the ROAS. If possible, we can be slightly flexible. You know, we might be overachieving our ROAS at the minute. We could look to bring it down, or if not, we can keep our ROAS as is. The bidding algorithm will adapt and will look to still capture the ROAS and still capture as much of the demand as possible. But there may be auctions where it just is pushed out because of the increase in competition in CPCs. It will still adapt, and if possible to bring the ROAS down will allow us to adapt, I suppose, to more situations. And then you have looking at maximizing the value or the sales value, but within a strict budget. So if your budget is capped and there isn't any flexibility there, look to bring it to where you can, bring the budget to what you can bring it to, and as high as possible. But the bidding algorithm will adapt to that and will increase the amount of traffic it can and try maximize the return it's getting and the ROAS you're getting over that period. So again, competition may intensify, but the conversion value or the conversion rates may increase. So if you're looking to maximize that sales value but not move the budget, the recommendation will be to leave all as is, effectively. Now, the important thing is, for those who haven't set up smart shopping beforehand, we want to be setting this up a good period before those peaks. So before Black Friday, before the Christmas period. That's because it is automated. It does have a learning period. and we want to make sure that the algorithm is has a good picture of the market, and that your campaign is set and performing before this spike, or for these spikes. Because of that, we would look to set these campaigns up a couple of weeks before the festive period begins. You'd want to be setting them up in early October, having the campaigns running, and that means that they will be live and will have learned and be settled and be, I suppose, optimizing for performance consistently over this period. How we would set it up for success would be to either set your ROAS to the historical average, or maybe slightly lower, just to make sure that it can achieve that and achieve the same revenue. You would leave the campaign for the 2 week 15 period learning day period, and not make changes, and leave it, understand the market and the products that you have. You would look to budget and look to combine your shopping and your dynamic remarketing, and if possible, again, bring it up as there's sort of more inventory to target. This is because you are bringing your shopping and your dynamic remarketing together. So it's important to just make sure that you are that you're not then hamstringing your budget by just giving it a shopping budget. Once this is done, once you have the campaign set up, it's running, we would recommend then to look at the feed. What happens to a lot of advertisers is that product prices might be reflected in the website and not in the feed for a good period, maybe up to a day. This can lead to disapprovals of those products, while the feed pricing is sort of catching up with the website. Because of that, we recommend to look at that and just make sure that's not happening. Make sure that your website pricing changes are being pushed to the feed, which is being pushed again to AdWords. This will just decrease the products that aren't showing. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure we're showcasing all of our products, and make sure that every one of them has the opportunity to drive revenue for us and drive sales. So probably the biggest question we get is looking at, should we revert back to manual bidding or eCPC? And the short answer is we don't recommend to. We would recommend to leave your bidding strategies on automated bidding for the reasons we've outlined above. So if search queries are to rise, your bidding will adapt to that and will just keep entering those auctions for as much as the budget will allow. There's no reason for it to not enter additional auctions. And the same with those, while competition may increase, conversion rates will ideally increase. So no, we would not recommend to change to manual bidding or eCPC, because at the end of the day, your automated bidding is adapting and bidding based on a query level with all of the other signals that we outlined before in place. And for an individual to do that bidding manually is just not possible, really. And then in terms of looking at the budget, so what should we be looking to, I suppose, to increase budgets by to capture the demand? So you can look at your historical data, look at how demand increased last year. If it increased by 30%, we'd look to bring the budget up by 30% to make sure you're capturing that demand again. Alongside that, it's important just to take into account your business goals. So if you are targeting a 50% increase in sales year over year, the budget has to reflect that. And if you're to only increase your budget by 30%, it's going to be very hard to achieve those higher goals. So look at what happened last year, and also just look at your goals yourself, and where the business wants, what the business wants to achieve. Brilliant. So guys, that was just a run through of the, I suppose, of how to set up your smart shopping campaign, how to make sure it's ready for the festive period. I'll just pop over to the Q&A and look at any questions that everyone has. Perfect. So we've come from Pradeep. So first and foremost, are high budgets the only way to maximize conversions during special campaigns like holidays? So for us, it would be. at the end of the day, we're looking to, if your budget is capped, there's only so much demand that you're going to capture. So if your budget is capped and your campaign is, say, stopped running at 12 o'clock in the day, then you're missing out on all those conversions past this period. So that is a huge factor and huge important if you want to maximize the actual volume of conversions that you're trying to capture. And another from Pradeep, so during special campaigns like holidays for 2 weeks, how can you move to eCPC or max conversions? Because you need some conversion consistently to move to these models. So I suppose when you look at special campaigns, so if you're running maybe just say a 2-week Black Friday campaign, and you're looking to maximize the conversions you're getting there, something like maximized conversions can work very well from the off. So obviously you can't move to a target ROAS or a smart shopping campaign if you're just looking for a 2-week period. Whereas maximized conversions can work from the start, and we'll just look to maximize the number of conversions you're getting for the budget you set. So if, I suppose, to the first question, if you have a limited budget and you're looking to drive as much conversions as possible, maximized conversions will do that and drive as much as possible and much revenue as possible. Brilliant, guys. So I think that is all the questions we have. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in and for listening. And as I said, there's a great live stream about the smart shopping campaigns, which are previously goal optimized campaigns, which I would strongly encourage you to have a look at. But thank you very much for joining.